What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm Hunter Collins, and today we're going to be doing a quick review on these side iron sights sent to me by Feyachi. I just tested these out the other day, so let's jump into the video and let me tell you what I think about them. Okay guys, so before we get really into this video, I just want to say that the links for these will be in the description below, so if you want to check them out for yourself, go do that. They'll be right there, first thing in the description. So let's get into the actual review. So I bought these. They came from Amazon. A company by Feyachi sent them to me, so shout out to them. I really appreciate that. But it's kind of something new to me. I've never used anything like this before, but they're side iron sights. So more or less, when you look down your scope, I can flick it to the side and boom, iron sights. Now I think that is a pretty cool concept. I really like the way, just like the idea of that. Now to me, I have them on my 223 just because it's cheaper to shoot and it's a lot easier to shoot, but I wouldn't really put them on something like this personally. I think that this is for fun, that's why I have them on here, just because I shoot this gun a lot. But for practical purposes, if we start talking about that, I would put this on something that doesn't have, like, if this had a big scope on it, like my 308 for example. Say my 308 has like it has a 6x18 on it. So anywhere like close quarters, or like if I'm in a tight place in the woods or something, I cannot see through that scope because it's just too zoomed in. So say maybe I'm deer hunting in the woods and a deer comes and it's like 20 yards away and I'm in the thick brush. I'm not going to be able to see that through my scope. So boom, I turn to the side, now I have iron sights. So as far as how much these actually work, they go on the gun pretty easy. They just attach right onto any rail, which I think's that's pretty nice. It's just like an Allen wrench. They attach on very easily. The only thing I would say about it is you cannot fold it down. Like there's just like it doesn't go down. You have to unscrew this, and then once you unscrew it, you have to pull the pin out and the spring comes out. You have to make sure you don't lose the piece on the other side. Fold it down, put it back in the holes, and put the screw and the spring back in and make sure it threads through that. So I don't know if I like that much, but then again, this is a $20 iron sight, which is not that bad. I mean, especially for these kind of sights. So that's kind of to be expected. Another thing is this flips. So like when you look through it, it has two different sight pictures you can look through on the back end as far as the circle. And if you're really close up, to me personally, the little circle works pretty good. But if you're shooting way back here or something, the big circle works pretty good too, and it just gives you a better sight picture. I think this would be really good for like moving targets or something, or like I said, once again, if you're really close and you're just in a position that you have a scope on and you need to see around it. The only other thing I would definitely mention about these, there's a lot of play in them. Like I can wiggle this a lot. Like, I mean, it's not like inches, but for a sight I can wiggle it a lot. So I know if I hold it, like right now, currently, I've got my iron sights lined up perfectly, and I can move it almost in and out of the sight picture. Now I don't think this is a problem that would really necessarily happen while I'm shooting it, but I mean, it's just something to note that it's not on there 100% sturdy. However, it does hold up pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to take this out into the field and test it. And we actually already did this, so I'm going to cut to that footage right now of Elliott and I testing this out. You all know Elliott. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. Everybody knows him. He is the gun man. So he was with me and then he shot it and gave his opinion on it. So I'll roll that footage. Alright guys, so I got the Feyachi side iron sights on right now. So we're going to give them a quick try out. First, I know my red dots, for the most part, it's kind of on. So I'm going to shoot a few times just to show you guys that I am aiming at the right target, and then we'll see how good these things line up. Alright, let's go look at it. time. So as you can tell, they grouped up a little bit. I'm not the best with the red dot, but that's just to show you my gun is shooting right. So now let's test out the side iron sights and see what I can do with them. All right guys, so let's try out the iron sights and see what I can do with them. All right, let's take a look. As you can see, I grouped not much different, but they were a little more on target. I believe my red dot's probably shooting a little low, but these iron sights, I threw them on very, very quickly. So they're a little bit loose. They're not exactly on, as tight as they could be. But I think what we're gonna do now is the gunman himself, Elliott Delp, he's here with me today. All you guys know him. He grew up shooting iron sights. He's missed like 8 deer with the scope this year, but he's never missed one with iron sights. So we're gonna let him shoot it a few times and see what he can do. Okay, so all you know, Elliott Delp here with me. Like I just mentioned, we're gonna let him shoot it a few times. I believe you got 10 shots, but let's see if you can hold up to your trueness to the iron sights you always talk about. He'll be linked in the description below, and also there's a card is it in that corner or this corner? It's in one of the corners right now. Just click it. All right, let's see what you can do.
Oh, I shot low. Well, I beat Hunter. I mean, that's no shock. But I did pull low on a few of them. I got 4 pretty good. But then I started bouncing around. And I mean, that's to be expected. After you start shooting, like, I'm no professional shooter. Hunter's no professional shooter. We don't train like we should. We don't practice like we should. And our recoil control is pretty bad. So after I bounce off target, I kind of just have a hard time adjusting and readjusting. So it's something I need to work on. But, I mean, they weren't bad.
What'd you think? 20-second review, what'd you think?
20-second review.
19.
For
18.
what? How much were these cost? Hold on a second. Before we go,
those were like.
What are we talking on price range? And
I think they were like $40.
All right. So
I'll correct you while you review it.
All right. So for $40, I think they're pretty good. Magpuls, I think they're very similar, but these have a little bit of play in them, and the Magpuls don't have any play in them. So I guess for a backup, for $40, they're pretty good. Especially if you're just using them for a backup. If you have no other reason to use these iron sights, $40 is...
Just kidding, $20, 24.
Oh.
Completely wrong, $24.
$24 is definitely pretty good. I thought they were very similar to the Magpul when it comes to like sight picture and like picking them up, looking through them. They're really easy to see. They're just with my hearing protection. But I think they're pretty good. For $24, I think they're pretty solid. I don't know how many times I've said they're pretty good, but they are. And
there you heard it from the gunman himself.
Not a bad option. They're not snipers, or they're not really good. I wouldn't rely on them for anything, because like I'm sitting here moving it, and I can move it out of the sight picture and into the sight picture.
All right, guys, let's take it back to the table to finish my final thoughts on the review. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that little clip of us shooting this, but that's pretty much how it worked, and then you kind of heard what Elliott said. Definitely for $20, it's not really that bad at all. It's actually a really good deal to his opinion and mine, especially even if you're just wanting these to play with. Like, I absolutely love shooting these, and I don't know, I kind of grew up, a lot of people I think grow up kind of using iron sights, or maybe you start with like a 410, just a little bead, like, that's kind of how I started. So I think it's just really cool to kind of go back to this iron sight feel, and I don't know, it's just fun. And once again, on this gun there's no really practical purpose for it, but I know I can keep this on there, and like if I just want to throw a clip in and just shoot for fun, or maybe target practice with it so I get better, I mean I can always do that. The only problem is storing it, like these get in the way because once again you can't move it down. But I have found out it is easier to take the whole piece off than it is just to fold this back. Like so much easier. So much easier to take the whole side off compared to just taking this off and unfolding it and then putting the screws back. Just trust me, it's a lot easier to do that. But my final thoughts on this from what you saw shooting, kind of what I've already reviewed. I mean, I think they're sturdy and they're going to hold up. I don't think the play in it makes a big difference. I don't think that's going to affect you when you're just actively shooting. Because, I mean, your gun does recoil, but I don't think it's going to knock it off so far. But by the next time you pull it, that you're completely off picture. I think that'll work good. I think a big test for this, though, taking it out to like 100 yards and seeing if you can hit anything. We didn't do that. We didn't really get the time. I would like to do that a different time. But if any of you use this and do that, let me know how it went for you. But I think that would be the biggest challenge for this. Otherwise, I think it's good. I've like the Magpul ones. I mean, obviously they feel a little better quality. They don't have quite as much stuff like that. But at the same time, this worked. It worked great. You saw us shoot it, and I think that it'll continue to work good for me. I think it's going to last a while. So if you're looking for something and you don't want to spend a ton of money, I would definitely recommend this. If you're looking for something a little higher end that maybe is just a little more convenient or just a little nicer, maybe not exactly get this Feyachi one. However, if you've first one and you just want to try out one, definitely recommend $20. Heck yeah, go for this. Or if you're just like a cheap person and your life isn't dependent on this iron sight, making you eat at night or something, go for it. So I definitely recommend this. Once again, it'll be linked in the description below. So if you want to check it out for yourself, recommend go do that. But I think that's going to do it for this review video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, this has been the Feyachi side iron sights. We will catch you guys next time. And as always, take someone outdoors.